Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I'm Jeet Kumar, co-founder and the CEO of InTimeTec.
Dan Puga, President and Director of Operations for InTimeTec.
So I can give a quick overview about what we do. So we provide software development services to various companies in Idaho and around the globe. We have two distinct products along with services. One in the CRM space, we call it the category of B2C. These are like small and medium businesses. And then another one we have in the enterprise space, mapping software, asset mapping software, which we have just launched recently. And one of our big company here in Boise is planning to buy those licenses. But I think this story, Dan and I, is less to do with the software development, but more to do with who we are. And I think it is about two of us grew up in two different parts of the world, born in the same year, and Greenleaf, Idaho, and a small village of India, coming together to create this company. So Dan is going to share where we are and what we have done so far, and then I'll come back and share what we are up to doing in the future.
Yeah. So we started in fall of 2008, more or less. Jeet was working with me with the HP India operation. I was at HP at the time, and we were flying back from meetings in Lexington, Kentucky. And he could tell that I wasn't real happy with where I was. I wore my emotions on my sleeve pretty regularly. And we're on this flight, and he goes, "Hey, have you ever thought of starting a software company?" And I was like, "Oh man, I've thought about it a long time." Now, I got married at 18, so I got married in, graduated from high school in June, got married, or in May, got married in June, moved to college in August. Our daughter was born in November. If you can do math, you understand how that works.
You're an overachiever.
Yes. Got through college in 4 years, was an intern at HP, all these things, and so life was all about survival for me. It was just, gotta survive, gotta get through this. And I started at HP, was there for 20 years, but I was empty. I didn't feel fulfilled. Like I had more in me to give, and so I had an awakening, I guess you would say. And so that moment in time, when he said that, I was like, man, I need to do something else because this is killing me. We embarked on a great adventure, and Jeet frequently says we made ourselves stupid to actually be willing to go on this adventure, because you have to be very naive about what you can do. We have this really cool spreadsheet we created that by now we can live in the Bahamas. But we don't.
I have the same spreadsheet.
Yeah. So, but you have to convince yourself that you can do it, or else you'll never try.
Did you pick out the island? Did
Yeah.
you pick out the specific island you were going to buy?
Yeah. Mark Anthony and Jennifer Lopez bought it.
Oh, man.
So anyway, Jeet was in India at the time, and we just started trying to figure out how to network. So I would say get out. That is the biggest thing. Just get out and start meeting people. Jeet left his nice job at HP, and he worked in some guy's basement with a barking dog and a really nasty setting with 5 college graduates, and that's how we started. And over time, we've gotten clients and changed our model, and we get together at least twice a year and rethink the meditation that Roger talked about. Rethink, what is it we're looking to do? We've always had passion around building products, but we built a services business to fund the passion. Right? We had needed revenue. Right? We didn't, and we're self-funded, bootstrappers. We don't. The only debt we have is the building through an SBA loan, because that was a lot of money. And today we have over 200 employees, 2 offices in India, Bangalore, Jaipur, and then our Meridian office here. And a couple months ago, we won Best Place to Work Micro-Employer in Idaho, and that was a real trip. It just was a real blessing. We were there, and they announced number 10. We're like, hey, top 10. And then they just kept going down, and that's a testament to what our employees think about us. And it was quite an honor. So.
Yeah. No, thanks, Dan. I think, as Dan shared, we have 200 employees back in India. We have 15 employees here in the US. We have a say in our company. We happens to do software, but our major goal, someone asked, what is the vision from Roger? I think we want to create abundance for people we touch. Everyone we touch, we want to create abundance. And I think this is a story of scarcity to abundance shift. When I was in India, I was growing up over there. I did all of my schooling over there, all of my college education over there, and I saw so much scarcity over there. People are fighting, 1.2 billion people are fighting for limited resources. And when I came here in working for HP in 1999, I saw there are so many opportunities, but not very many people are grabbing those opportunities and taking things for granted. So I think we saw an opportunity to bridge the gap, creating abundance from this side to that side, and then seeing this amazing creation. I can also share with you is that we are kind of a people-focused company. We say you can have a product, you can have a process, and you can have a people. It's like why, how, and why. And we mostly focus honestly on people. That's one of the things which we always look at it, whether internal employees or when we work with customers. Have the right fit. It's difficult when you are surviving to achieve that goal, but that's what we have been up to over the last 7 years. We always look at, is it a right match? And when it is, we go after it. And when it is not, we say thank you very much. So I think that's the way we have been building this company. We are an $8 million company, just to give you some numbers. If you are interested to see, we have been growing up. We have gone from a first project of $2,000 to a client of $2 million. We are doing it here in Boise, Idaho. We are really building it up, and we have a big plan of, if you come to our office, by the way, you're all welcome to come to our office some point in time, whenever you have opportunity to visit on that side of the town. We say we have $100 million company goal by 2024. That's what we are up to. And we are very, very well towards that growth. 30–40% we are growing every year, and we are going to continue that in the future.
So to address Norris's specific question, what do we do? Yeah, great. So what we do is, if you're involved in the Idaho Technology Council in any way, you know there's two big challenges for especially technology companies: access to capital, access to talent, right? There just isn't enough software talent. And outsourcing is notorious from the past, where it's like taking people's jobs and all this other stuff, and our real goal is not to do that. Our goal is to come alongside companies who are stuck. They want to grow, they have plans, they can't find people, and try to take on some of their context work like maintenance releases, enhancement, fixes. I need a mobile platform, but I don't have anybody freed up. I have some things I'd like to go do, but my team is stuck doing this stuff. How do we free up those innovators to innovate and allow their companies to grow? Can we take on that? So it's building a test automation framework. We're actually hosting a DevOps conference June 17th in the Zions Bank building. Because that's a real area we think we have some strength in terms of software releasing, continuous integration, continuous delivery. How do we build that infrastructure for folks, working alongside them so that they can release their SaaS-based solutions quickly? And so our talent and our offering is in the software development space. And also, we also have two products, as Jeet said. I mean, one of the things that we're kind of blessed with is that we are actually in India and here, because the new Prime Minister, Modi, is big-time digital India. So we were building a product that's like a little lightweight CRM, and we found that we actually had more traction in India with that product than we did here, because everybody's going mobile. There's no laptops, right? Everybody has smartphones, and so it's like, okay, great. How do we attack that market there? We've added about 60 or so resellers of the product in that market. We're connected with, if you know Rissel's story, we connected with QuickBooks. Well, we connected with the QuickBooks of India on that front, and then we also have a product that it's an asset mapping product, managed print services kind of space. So we're playing in the products space, and as I said, self-funded. All those investments are based on the revenue that we're generating from our other parts of our portfolio. So,
Questions?
Yeah, that help?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Good.
I'd like to read your website.
From the standpoint of what you're doing now, are you taking over project management for those responsibilities with your clients, or are you providing staff resources and they're responsible for the project management?
Yeah, by the question they are going to dance, one he will take, one I'll take, right? So then you want to take this.
We're gonna draw straws. Oh, guess what you got?
All right.
I got it. No, so it depends. It really does. What we find is you have some clients who really have not a lot of capabilities in process yet. So we have some experts who've gone on and done certified Scrum, certified product owner, come in alongside, and sometimes those processes have to be instituted, because what we find is if expectations and results are misaligned, it creates a problem. So we have to come in and really set that tone. Now, other clients already have all that stuff infrastructurally in place. And so then it's a matter of, we need software developers who know how to interact with our product backlog, how to give weekly or daily stand-up updates and engage. We have on-site folks who within the next, like the first 90 days are high touch with our clients. And over time, we find that our clients are perfectly content just working directly with our teams in India, and that need doesn't exist. Or they say, what we'd like to do is have somebody come onshore. We have a whole staff of folks who have visas that can come onshore for periods of time and do that product transfer, that knowledge transfer. So it really depends on what the client wants and what the client can afford.
Well,
Maybe a hard one.
I'll make it a hard one for Gene. Well, I really like that you said we happen to do software, but we're really about creating value.
Creating abundance.
Yeah.
Abundance. That is, so that's a very striking thing to say. Do people look at you and go, oh God, you're one of them?
Well,
One of those weirdos?
Sometimes.
No, I think I can tell you the reason why we say that. It's easy to say, oh, trust me, or you become who you are, like walking, talking trust, for example. So the reason why we say creating abundance, because we don't want to take away job. There is negative connotation about outsourcing software development, particularly in India side. So I look and feel like this, by the way, just so that you know. But so for us, when we go and have an engagement, we say, if you can find and afford, software developers never hire us. Don't even talk with us. If you can find and afford. I think we try to help people who cannot afford or cannot find. And so when we go along with them and say, okay, where are your challenges? You are stuck. You cannot grow. And when you cannot grow, you cannot make a difference. And so we come along and create abundance for them in that process. And that really resonates pretty well with those people. So it's a powerful thing to say, but we really live by those values. Every engagement we look at it. Can you find and can you afford? If you don't, we are going to talk.
So you have two founders with extremely different backgrounds and cultures you grew up in. What have been some of the challenges as you guys have built this business, managing those different expertise?
I'll take this call. I can tell you one of the major challenges in the partnership, and I think it might be useful for people who go into the partnership, is that I watched a movie called Frozen. I don't know whether you have watched Frozen or not. There was a question asked, how do you define love? And it was a simple definition: when you put other person's needs before your own need, that's called love. And so in the partnership, I think that's what we live by. Dan puts my needs before his need, and I put my needs, his needs before my needs. And I think that's the way, that's a mantra. That's the way we live. I can draw the being, the doing, the having part of it. But end of the day, it's all about what is it which we are up to? Creating things bigger than ourselves, and really subscribing and giving our life to that particular cause. As I said, we happen to do software, but that's not what we do. We try to make sure that we create that kind of value for each other and for the community as a whole. Cal?
Can you expand more on what the future looks like for your two products?
Yeah. So I can go quickly, and I think Dan will add for sure. I think the product is a difficult business. I don't know how many of you have tried. Building a product easy, selling is that more difficult. So for us, I think we can build. What we are trying to look into the market is which product will really going to create a value for our customers. So CRM, it's a more of a consumer product. It's like a big volume-based product. That's what we are targeting in India. There's quite a few CRM products, but we are looking at it where we can make a difference. And we are seeing a lot of early success over there. We might bring that one back into the US because of the lower cost of this one. But if you see Insightly, if there are many CRM products available. So we see that's the volume-based product, which we are targeting in India and testing the market. Our mapping is a very niche market product. Imaging and printing is one vertical we are targeting, but we see that assets, wherever the assets, someone needs to map. Someone needs to see where those assets are. So healthcare could be a vertical, education could be a vertical, so we are applying to target those verticals later. But right now, imaging and printing is one vertical we are targeting.
Yeah, I think for us, the product development and selling pieces are building muscles. So we don't know what's maybe next, but as Jeet said, building stuff has never been a challenge for us. It's the selling stuff. And I think Roger talked about soft and hard. You know, it's kind of like, man, I would buy this. It's like, cool, do you have a checkbook? Not exactly. Not exactly. but I know I would if I really wanted it. And so that becomes a challenge. So we've become more disciplined around the lean processes and getting early customers and knowing is this going to be a win and listening to what they want. And I think for the InTime CRM, we have some real prospects because we are in India and it is going digital and there are resellers and it's a whole new space for us. We also own another company that we've been involved in that does distribution of goods in U.S. and Latin America. So we have experience with resellers and selling and those kinds of things. And so that's very helpful. And then we have a rich history in printing and imaging. So we have a pretty good understanding of what that market needs. And we're finding the right people who have money and pain. Right? I think there was an article that came out. It's like, what's the level of pain you have, right? Is it something you're building that's like oxygen to your customers? Like without it, they die? Or is it like aspirin? It's like, yeah, headache. Or is it like jewelry, right? And so we're really trying to focus on stuff that's oxygen, that really like, man, I can't imagine my life without it. And we think that's in that space. But even yesterday, we go to lunch every day talking about what's next, what we think about going after with real data, right? We used to ride on a lot of emotion years 1 through 3. Now we're actually using a lot more data to really assess an investment because each one we know is going to be at least $250,000, $500,000 investment over some period of time before it actually gets some traction. So we're being more selective on that. Yeah.
I have a couple of part questions. So can you describe a situation where you had to fire a customer and the unwinding process, and then how did you use that experience to inform your prospect qualification process?
Yeah. So the question was if we have been fired or in case if we let some customer go.
Let a customer go.
Okay, so I think we have done that one in the past, and most of the time it's a conversation, simple conversation. Whether no question is hard question, no question is equal. It's a question for us. So I think the way we look at it is that, okay, we are misaligned. So let's have a conversation. Let's sit across the table and say, look, these are things not working for us. Can we do something about it? And if the answer is no, then we should not be together. And we have honestly, a big customer we let go recently. Really let go. So the biggest learning was making sure we really set the expectation right. Most of the time, there's an equation which we have in our company again, it's called satisfaction equal to results minus expectations. And if you can really create a right expectation, your satisfaction will always be go high. And so whenever we see it is not working, that's the biggest learning we take. Whether requirements were not defined properly, did we really commit too much and then deliver on time? Was the quality was understood? Do we know the UAT, user acceptance testing, was defined properly? Those are some of the key areas where we see expectations misaligned. And whenever we see those use cases, we come back, tune those, tighten those screw, and then we go after it. And then when we meet with a new customer, we say, look at this one. We may not be able to do. I think Rhino is a great example. Rhino and we had challenges of we just opened. When Rhino's SciFlow company started, there was misalignment of our expectations. We were naive 7 years ago, starting on a project with Rhino's team, and then we were just screwed up personally. And in that case, we didn't define the requirement proper. But that was the one learning 7 years ago made our company much stronger today. Because every time when we take a project, a well-defined requirement properly signed off by a customer, and then we start the project.
And expectations. I would say that expectations are a big piece. Why are you using us? It's just to have a low-cost software provider. At some point, we're going to have a problem, right? It's not going to work, So making sure there's a good values alignment as well, that we can deliver ROI. It's part of our hedgehog concept, immediate ROI. If we can't do that, then it's not going to work well. Having the luxury to say yes or no, really get into that and see, not be desperate for money. I think that as an entrepreneurial trap where it's like, well, I really need the money, so I go after something that I know might not be that great, and then just get crushed by the experience.
So digging a little deeper into unwinding, because with software, whether it's a minor or major release or, the point being that to unwind so that they can, if you have to give it back to them, so that they can, successfully take it back on. I mean, it's like the in and the out.
So one of our values is integrity, right? So we've had those where there's been like it wasn't going to work out, whatever it takes to have that transition done properly, right? It's not like, okay, fine, we don't like you anymore, because we're in Idaho, right? This is not a place, if we wouldn't do it anyway, but in Idaho, man, if we have a bad reputation, we have to move. So, but our word is our word. So if we split, we make an agreement, again, expectation setting on what does this transition look like, and we commit to it and we deliver it. Not half-heartedly, but fully. So that hasn't been a problem for us.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking, you know, it's like if you design the process to take it in and take it out,
Yeah,
then that process actually keeps you in.
absolutely.
You know, so I mean, you know, there's no discontinuity.
I think that document is a big part of it. I think we make sure that we document properly. We make sure we hand it over back to the people who really own it. And nowadays we do agile methodology. So it's not like one big blob of coding we took and then it's like a black box. It's mostly the white box where the person, other side always know what we are up to. We always say, have one local developer who understands what we are up to so that it's not like we own it and one day we are going to hand over to you. That kind of interaction works well.
You mentioned if somebody comes to you and wants a low-cost developer, that's not a good reason to engage with you. What is?
It's not a good soul region. And I think what Gene was talking about was if cost is a challenge and access to talent is a challenge to your growth versus, man, I'm just looking for a sweatshop. Can you see the distinction between the two? It's like I can't find anybody. I have a roadmap I want to go on. We have a values alignment with what it is versus I just want a sweatshop that I can boss around and then blame when things don't go well. We can, by the way, we can have a 5-minute meeting and we can distinguish that very fast. It doesn't take long to go, okay, I see why we're here. It's not going to work.
Also, I can tell you, Roger, is that I think the maturity, the process, the understanding, the flexibility, web design, testing, back-end development, all that under one hood, we can bring it. Versus if you hire someone, you're going to hire one person who can do the testing or web development or back-end or database. Those are the kind of flexibility we provide within that umbrella of headcount. But I think if someone is coming only for cost, that's a slippery road. Always. We have found it over the last 7 years. It's going to nickel and dime, or didn't do this one, I asked you to do, or I don't have money, or can you take my equity in return of development? All that conversation comes very quickly, and we say, okay, now we are in noise. We are not creating abundance anymore. So then why are we together? Kind of conversation.
I hate to ask this, but you said there are companies, we just want somebody, we can boss around and then blame later. Several bases popped in my head. I've heard that actually